are live, I think. Can I get a GM in the chat if people can hear me? I think I'm live. Yeah, we're live. All right, rock and roll. GM, thank you. Trying a new streaming software, so I had no idea if it was working or not, so thank you guys. Welcome in to another Chain Edge live stream. Thank you all for joining. I'm happy to officially announce Solana Beta is here. For you Chain Edge users, all you have to do is press the little Solana Beta button, and you can see some of our limited data sets. Again, very early stages, but given there's so many coins launched over there, it sure will help to at least let you know which meme smart money's bidding on. This is a very limited set of smart money where they've got consistent big wins on the Solana tokens you've heard of. These aren't like people that just flipped new launches over and over and over again. And that's just, one, it's easier to use for now in its little beta form, and then two, it's, especially on the alpha stream. So, instead of having a stream of swaps on Solana that is just absolute noise, you could see there's plenty. Like it's not full of just spam transactions. Like if you put Sol on the sell side, like you can pretty easily see like there's some distance in between these transactions, and that's just because we didn't feed in too many wallets. We tried to keep the wallet quality pretty high so that we can work with the data, start finding signals. There's a lot more stuff we're going to build around this, including the alpha stream filters, the alerts, etc. But this is a pretty good start. We actually even had one user in the Chain Edge Discord hit I think 3x yesterday just on a screenshot I posted from one of these pretty high P&L wallets buying something. But you still get a lot of the same stuff you're used to. So the wallets are labeled into their buckets. You can hover over them and see their P&L, number of trades, win rate. This is the absolute worst it's ever going to be. It's going to get much better over time. I think there's a little bit of latency on the alpha stream itself right now, but I think it's already pretty powerful. We actually saw this buy spike in NVIDIA earlier. But it'll only get better over time. But if people have questions about anything related to Solana, I'm happy to answer them. We'll eventually roll out the whole suite like we have on the EVM side, which will include the holdings data, more data on the token pages. But you can also search and dig into any of these wallets. I'll pull one up here. So you can pull up the wallet, tell you, what they're still holding, P&L, where they made their wins, losses, all that good stuff. See what they're buying. So I think it's going to be really powerful once we get it up to its full maximal output. But for now, it's still pretty good. What else? I want to go over one thing that's been bothering me. So we have a lot of users that will sit on the alpha stream and try to catch new launches. And especially for people that don't have a lot of time, they're, but you're setting up alpha streams, you're trying to catch these new launches, you're setting up alerts, and it's tough because there's And we can look right on the site and see how many launches there are in a day where we still have liquidity feeds. So this is just new launches that haven't even rugged yet. And, there's 30. There's these two probably rugged. So instead of trying to fight through which of these makes the most sense or getting rugged on the next Harambe rug that comes out, a point I've been trying to make lately in the Discord is how money this portfolio summary data is. So if you filter by number of 10,000 plus holders and you look for tokens that are more than 30 days old for the sake of our argument. Now look at this 30-day return column. Banger. OLAS is the underperformer, like BUY, AGRS, Ondo, Bitcoin, NQAI, Trump, VDO, LMR, GLQ. Money. It's like those are 2x's, 3x's, 5x's on tokens with almost all of them have more than 1 million of liquidity except for 2. I've been trying to just point more people over there because I think there's a lot of opportunity to be found using this page and these filters. And it doesn't even have to be older tokens like that. With our new holdings data upgrade, when you look at the top holdings now, it's still bangers. Genus has been in here now since it's launched. It launched right at the top. Closed AI was at the top at one point. Blender, EEFI. Flow to use this page. So what I do is, let's see if I can. Oh, so there's one really good example. So, I usually am trying to find ones with not so aggressive 7-day quantity being negative because that's some of it's profit taking, and some of it is just people wanting to get out. But so a really good example that I like is Shutter. So Shutter, 600K, right? 21 5K wallets in it. Big accumulation over the last week, right? Like 120%. The average entry is 26 cents versus that's basically the current price. I know what Shutter is. It's a MEV project, which is pretty interesting. So then the next part of the flow, I don't know. Oh yeah, I should be logged in here. For things like this, it's all about just making sure you get a decent entry, right? Let's see if I can find the right Shutter. I think that's it. Right, so that checks the boxes of, okay, it's high up on the list. It's a real project. I think they actually make a decent amount of revenue. Smart money is accumulating it. They're not sitting on this massive bag that they're selling down, which always isn't the worst case, but and then I don't want Dex Screener though because I have some volume filters in here that I really like. And then I'm no chartist. I'm just looking for like trying to bid at volume based support levels. So I've been like using this flow, it's like smart money's getting in. They've been accumulating 26-ish. It's obviously bounced a bit from the lows of 0.19. It's hitting resistance, but like anything in this like 0.19 to 0.24 whatever range. I feel like it's going to be pretty good. So that's an example of how I would use it. And then you can take it one step further and actually look into what kind of wallets are buying this. This one was an LBP. The chart has kind of just been, obviously it's moved around, but like essentially flat from the LBP post LBP launch, right? Like almost dead flat. Then we look who's holding. It's like, okay, really high P&L. We're going to improve this, obviously, but when you see NP, it means new position. So it means these are people that built the position. So these are the wallets that created that spike, that 100% that we saw that got us here. And what do we see? It's like, okay, high P&L, very good. Average entry of 2.247. Another really high P&L. They must have transferred in if there's no average entry. But like these are the guys that are driving it up. So we see, not only do we have the signal of smart money's buying it, but this is a 900K P&L trader. If you wanted to go one step further, you could go take this wallet's address and put it into something like Arkham and see if it's a known entity. I don't do that very often because I like almost not knowing. But there's a lot of quality wallets in here that have, like if you look at their bags, like there's not a lot of selling. There's also not a lot of P&L that's been made on this token. The buy and sell flow is kind of mixed, but overall, like that seems pretty good, right? Like, how's that not a bad setup? It's a real project. It's not, well, knock on wood, anything can happen in crypto. I don't think their market cap is the full 280 million. I don't know what it is, but like chart's been kind of consolidating, it's coiling up. Smart money's buying. They're buying basically at the same price. Like that's how I like to use the page. Decent setup, right? GM to be clear. The 1, 5, 10K is the number of wallets holding token. Yes, correct. No, so that's a good question. These are not changes in the number of holders. These are full-on balance changes, token balance, quantity, not dollars. So we're kind of doing two things here, right? So you're looking for things where there, people have a 5K minimum bag. And the reason I start with that is you're kind of trying to look where there's conviction, right? Like, if 20 people that have generated 6 figures of P&L, each of them has $5,000 and they've put that $5,000 into this token, right? That's a signal, okay? That's a decent start. And then the second piece of info we're getting is that, that has happened, right? So we have 21, 5K over, and their bags have been packed basically at the current price. And not only that, the total balance of tokens they hold is actually doubled in the last week, which could mean, obviously they're bullish, but there could be some information that we're not privy to. It makes it go up. I don't know. But one of the wallets I showed, they have 900K of P&L. Like, it's obviously not an idiot. They're not some sniper. They've traded 142 total times, right? So it's not this. We have a lot of wallets in here that are professional gamblers. And this is a setup of where I try to point some people where if they don't have the time to master the professional gambling aspects of crypto, this is, to me, what I would look for a decent setup. What about if you hunt for newer launches like less than 48 hours? Do you still use the page? 100%. So we've updated our holdings data. So anything, like you'll see anything in the last 48 hours should come in here. Funny. On-chain wizard token. So you can see right in here, same thing. Now you're not going to have the holdings trends and stuff, but still you could do the same number of holders that bought a bag. Are they sitting on a big win? You can also just look at the FDVs. Like if I'm doing this post 48 hours, like I really don't want it below 1 million because the ETH market tends to price things fairly well in the beginning. So if it's under 1 million after 48 hours, it still could be good. But things like OPSEC and GPU, like these big winners and runners, that doesn't tend to happen as much anymore. But yeah, so you can see right here, this was what it would be looking like if you're looking for 48 hours or less. You can do the same exact thing. You also, if you don't want to go that way, can use the alpha stream and find people actively buying stuff within those parameters. That's price performance. Saru, so that far right on the portfolio page is price performance. So you can use that to also just get a sense of which tokens are working. Which obviously memes are working. You can see Zin with the classic 6,400% return. But yeah, this is just token price change. But again, it's just a personal point I wanted to make is that a lot of money and brain damage gets, and this is also just speaking from experience and something I personally want to do more, because I myself will get caught up in chasing the alerts, watching what snipers are doing, trying to snipe things where it makes sense. And I mean, I did the analysis in the Discord just moments ago, and I think if we filter this for 31 days and over by 5K holders, yeah, like if you would have just aped, sorry, let's do 10K because some of these don't look that right either. Yeah, so I mean, if you would have just aped, the 12 tokens that had a lot of smart money ownership. Now, obviously the market went straight up, but just as an example, if you would have popped half an ETH into all of these things, you would have, you would have turned 5 or so ETH into 20. So there's a lot of sauce on this page that I just don't think people are fully utilizing. Because I mean, most of these, if you look, it's like banana, pretty sure it's an all-time high. Oh, lost last I checked, all-time high. Buy's pretty close. I think Ondo's close. Bitcoin recently hit its all-time high, I think yesterday. Not Trump. Trump's on a dip. It's like it's a good place to be hunting. And obviously you can go further down the list, right? Because the best performers will find themselves at the top, but you can go further down and look for interesting things. So typically, are you looking for confluence or divergence between price change over those time frames? I don't really care if the price is going up because tokens that are going up tend to keep going up until they, just go into some crazy straight up pattern. I'm just looking for like decent setups, and then I'm also just thinking about like what sectors I want to bid. Like, so keeping our age filter on, so this is 31 days older or more. It's like, would I own banana? Yeah. Like, do I even need to chart it? it's like I'll probably be fine if I just hold it because you're just going long degen trading volumes and banana is the best bot. Sold. Then you have the AI coins, and then, you can think about, okay, which AI coins are having outflows, right? This column. Which ones are seeing accumulation, like OLAS accumulation. Let's bring some of the younger tokens back in. So to me, it's a combo of, I maxed it out. Decent looking. So one, it's either a leader in 1, 5, or 10K holdings. I find myself using 5 more recently. Is there a 7-day accumulation trend, or at least like a normal, like not minus 50% selling? That usually worries me. If you look at all of the newer tokens where we've seen that, like Blender hasn't really been able to get past $1, I don't think. CK Hive hasn't been able to get past like 0.15. Scale hasn't been able to get past like 0.4 something. So you have, but then EEFI has actually been on this list for a bit now. And I mean, that thing went from 300 to 1200 in the last like 3 or 4 days. And it didn't have the nasty, negative 7-day accumulation trend. But I also just like it because all the new tokens will show up in here, so you can see which ones have a lot of smart people behind it, like Closed AI, BVM, which has performed well. CETI is a new one. But yeah, usually, looking for either bullish or flat trends here, and then it's not always perfect, right? But looking for, they're not sitting on a big gain. I mean, on some of these tokens, it doesn't matter. Like if you you can also filter this. This is it. You have to filter them by chain. So you can see like NMT still pretty good, right? Because it's just going to keep being a winner. So even over the last week, people accumulating it. 21 wallets holding 5K or more, smart wallets. Pretty good. I mean, you can use this on base. See which things on base are getting the attention. I don't know why our price feeds aren't coming through there, but that's... None of these really scream that bullish to me, but... And then, I mean, once we have Solana, that'll obviously come in here too. Let's look at ARB for a second. Yeah, EMC. People were selling Rosnet. So yeah. But keep the questions coming. I think once we have the holdings data on Solana in particular, it's going to be pretty interesting to see, a page like the one I just went through, but for all of the meme, just, it's all only meme coins. So the flows are going to be a lot more important. I think that's going to be pretty fun. But if we spin over to Solana, 6 hours, Pang, mostly buys, Retardio, Andy. Another quick thing I do in the alpha stream is I just run really high P&L, 400K, and just 5K minimum, and just see what's up. So let's get Let's get some buys. Let's see what people are buying. GLM, people getting rugged on different types of Harambe. 10K buy on Runic Chain, which is a new launch today. This is another way, like, to me, this gets you two signals real easily because, you know, you're just doing two things, and you can filter these by emoji too if you want. So if you don't want any sniper BS, you can put this for Gem Spotter and just see where 5K or more is getting accumulated into any of these things. Yep, I just took the snipers out so that we don't see 4 different Harambes. Yeah, like a lot of poo. I see poo a lot. I see WSB, banana. Ola's price feed's obviously broken. GLM, yeah. This is just like my quick and dirty way of like, what are the good wallets? You know, what are they buying? What are the good tokens? And you can obviously even filter by token age if you really want to get some of the noise out of there, right? You just go. I mean, you can get actually pretty particular, right? So if I want things that are more than, what did I do? More than a day old, but less than 50 days. Yeah. Like, this guy really wanted him some trestle. Look at that. It's like 45 grand or so, just rammed into trestle. Actually looks like this guy went on like a shopping spree. Curious, how do you come up with the smart money cohort? So it's a rolling 6-month realized P&L. So if you made money on Pepe the first time, you're out. You're not, I don't consider you smart anymore. So if you made $10 million on Pepe, but then you don't have any other wins since, you're out. So that's step 1. So it only looks back 6 months. 2, I think the minimum P&L right now is 50K, but it's going up because we've got a lot more wallets with P&L. So it's going to 100K. But the idea is it's 50K minimum P&L, X number of 5 or 10K wins, and then their biggest win cannot be 80% of their P&L unless the remaining 20% would also make them smart money. So you almost exclude it. And then there's some other stuff like if there's certain transaction counts where if they have their transaction count's just so high, they just get kicked out too. But so that algo runs every day. Every day the system kicks out anyone with a negative P&L, just gone. And then every week it updates for both bringing in wallets with, you know, their P&L criteria makes them in, or if they started losing money, they get kicked out. So it's pretty live. But it's only on realized P&L, and it's kind of with a angle towards consistency, right? Because, like, to me, smart money made $1 million on Pepe, and that's all they have. Like, that's not smart. Like, they're probably an insider, or, you know, like. So let me find. Let's see if this guy's a good example. Looks like a relatively new wallet, if I had to guess. Kind of just scalps them. But yeah, I mean, that's, to me, even though the ROIs are kind of weird, so not an awesome example. But the P&L sheet is an example of what I like to see, which is just win, 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 win. They're all big wins. They have a lot more big wins than losses. That's, to me, that's smart. Their win rate is 71%. They're obviously trading these for pretty low. Like they're almost just like scalping low tax coins. So not the best example, but yeah. Like this is what the win sheet for almost every wallet in here looks like. So even the snipers, they still have a lot of big wins. But they are tough to, they're tough to, you can't even really copy trade them because the ones that are actually sniping are, you're coming in when they're up 10, 20, 40x. So it's really not a reliable way to make money. And another thing, if people are curious, you can, I don't do individual wallet work anymore. That's kind of why I built ChainEdge, so I don't need to do that. I can look at it, as a whole. I can filter the data however I want it. But for those people that want to, you can just start with the leaderboard and just look for non-snipers that don't have that many trades and have a lot of P&L, and you can find probably pretty cool wallets to see what they're up to. Most of these three are pretty active, but most of these they traded 70 or less unique tokens. Some of these first pages are 47 or less tokens, so not super active. You can also do it by P&L. Holy moly. Look at that. 400K P&L on, I think that's GPU. That's absolutely wild. What else? Any more questions? Thanks for the questions, DeFi Research. Nothing? Nobody? Let's see. We went through an example of how to use portfolio page. Ooh, so how many of these wallets are influencers? It's probably a decently high percentage. I know some of them, so Rec, the Banana Olympics winner, he's got some of these sniper wallets on the leaderboard are his. Not really an influencer. Let's see if I can find his exact one. He's actually, I did the math the other day, and Rec has had at any point in time, if I summed it up, he's probably had 30 separate individual wallets within our swap streams, which is pretty incredible. Let's see, how can I find? He's got one. I think he bought a bunch of this thing. He might be blacklisted. But what you'll see, and everyone that signs up always says this, we'll see the swaps come in, and then you'll see on new launches, and you'll see the shills show up. We saw that on BVM when it launched. I think we were all getting alerts at 30 cents. And then, it started running, and then you start seeing the shills. So I think a decent portion, at least 30%, are probably influencers or connected to influencers. Yeah, this wallet right here is directly connected to wreck the banana gun winner. And again, like, I could go through and hire a team and label these, but you have the data that you need. And honestly, if people knew that this was wreck, they'll just try to copy trade him, and he will just rinse you because he just rinses his copy traders. So, but this is definitely one. If you take this particular wallet and trace it around, you'll see it go right to his main wallet. So, and I mean, 700K P&L, very good sniper. But again, tough to replicate, which is why usually I'll do alerts with either really high. The way I usually try to, will portfolio summary come with Solana? Eventually, yes. So right now, it's just beta form. We're trying to clean up some things, but people were just so horny for it. We just got it out. There's still a lot of wallets to be added. There's, like you can't even do the custom filters or the custom alerts, but that will all come. Like, the goal is like 6 weeks from now, worst case, the Solana side will be equal to the EVM side. But no, so right now all that's on Sol is just you get an alpha stream with a limited set of smart wallets. I mean, they're still pretty good. Like, this guy's got 350K of P&L over there. And then you get the swap summary too, but we'll roll the whole thing out for Sol data because that will be helpful, especially on some of the bigger coins and trying to time their rotations. But I mean, you can, even if you just sum these on a 1 hour, you can probably spot interesting launches or things that are people like 18K of sells on this. Like, that's kind of surprising that it's all sell side flow only. Stan, a lot of sells today. But yeah, I mean, there's a few ways to get alerts early enough, but you're still not relying on the other two wallet types. I usually run, actually, if I'm in my account, I can actually show my, is it 1 hour auto refreshing? It should be. These are not mine. My new launch alert is, give me anything like 15 days old or less with a high P&L wallet, so 400K, where they're aping. How much is an ETH now? Let's just do 3,800 in case ETH goes down. And then like 4 wallets, because not all of the sniper wallets are actually sniping. It's kind of the way we're categorizing them. So something like this or a variation of this will ping you on the decent new launches every single time. I mean, you can just keep cranking these up until you feel like you're not getting as many rugs. I'll still get rugs even with these. And then the second one I always run is less wallets with the rocket emoji. These are the early movers, so they definitely don't snipe. All their P&L is made from buying tokens 20 minutes old to 24 hours. Those alerts are usually good too. How many Sol smart money are there? So the Sol smart money it's just in its very basic early form. So I think there's 100 or so wallets in there now, but that's just one, for stability, two, so it doesn't clog up the alpha stream with just a bunch of spam, even though, I mean, you see there's still a lot of transactions. But it's going to improve over time, right? This was, like, we've been doing EVM side for 15 months now versus we've done Sol for, I don't know, we just started. So the wallet generation algo, the P&L algo, all that stuff will just get better and better. So there will be a lot more wallets. But yeah, I mean, there's like 100 Sol wallets that we're running with just for this initial beta versus the ETH side probably has between 1,000 and 1,200 now. Because there's a lot more P&L that's been created on the... And so for the people that are running alerts with filters, I would crank up your P&L numbers because there's been a lot more P&L created. Like if you think about how much P&L you had to create to be top on 100 or so, I'll give you the exact number here in a second. Yeah, so I mean, 400K or more of P&L puts people in the top 100 wallets. So I think there was a time we used to talk about as a community doing 200 or 300 or 250, but I've at least for all of mine, it's 400K plus on everything, because then you're also backdooring yourself into the top 100 wallets, which feels nice and comfy. Unless you're, there's some online 24/7 degens that run it with wide open filters and they look at all the rugs that come through. So you can do that too if you'd like. Some of these wallets, even at the 200K plus level, like this guy's good. This guy's good too. I think this guy crushed it on Dizzy Havoc. What else? What other questions do people have? Where's the Dizzy Havoc? No questions? What else? Run your favorite flow again. I mean, there's a couple. So if let's say I just woke up and I need to know, like, I need to be up to speed on the day. And this is how I write the daily summaries that any of the users read. I'll usually just look through the 24-hour flows to see if anything's interesting. There's obviously, this is probably a new launch that's probably popular now. So like in general, just first glance of this, it's like, okay, gaming coin bid. I feel like that's a gaming coin bid. AVAX is kind of gaming. People getting rugged on different Harambe's. This side of it looks like clear outflows on almost anything DPIN. I like DPIN. I don't know what Bets is. I feel like desync is DPIN, so is op clouds. Spin through if there's anything new in the top smart money holdings. I like using 5K because you'll see stuff a little bit earlier. I mean, Shutter just seems decent. Like, these are notable, so like I flipped these two early, CK Hive and Blender. Like, it is pretty interesting to see smart money basically cutting their positions in half on both of them is quite notable to me. BVM, also interesting. Feels like in general there's a little bit of a BRC, Bitcoin, DeFi stuff is back. For new launches, I'll just quickly look at which ones had a lot of attention, which is 100K or more of smart buying, and then where was the retention high? There was high retention on this Harambe, but I don't fucking care. Runic is probably interesting. I saw some pretty smart wallets throwing decent clips into that. I think it's a L1 or L2 on Bitcoin kind of thing. No idea if it's a scam or not, but anyway, that's the quick and dirty workflow. And then, like I said, to see what the killers are playing with, I'll look through here. I mean, is it SD is liquid staking? I didn't know that. It's just 400K, and I went 10K minimum transaction. Yeah, it's probably too high. Or did I do 100K? I was gonna say there should be more results than that. This is always an interesting one. It's like people don't ram 10 grand or more into tokens unless they got some level of confidence, right? And so these are and this is why it's cool. It's 400K P&L, so that's top 100 within our smart money database, and they're aping 10K or more. And you see a lot of this Pandonia, which I don't know what that is. GLM, Palm, a bunch of Harambe scams by snipers, Fox, and I'll just kind of see, especially when they're all together, there's probably something to research, because that's like a pretty, let's just look at Pandonia real quick. Yeah, for just 400K plus P&L traders, they've aped 104 grand into this Pandonia in the last 30 minutes. The average buy is at 636 and they started at 442. Don't know what it is, so I'd have to go research it. It's obviously snipers, so you don't know. But so the quick and dirty on snipers is, if you see these first two, they probably actually sniped it, and then the rest are just people that do snipe, but they're not sniping in this scenario, right? They're just coming in a little bit later. You'll also notice the snipers that end up doing that, the ones we categorize as snipers, they have a little bit longer hold times, like 3 days, which is also good. But yeah, you're trying to balance, if something's new and it's got a lot of attention and you want to be early, first 404 a game, kinda. Hasn't that kinda been done? I don't know. Couldn't run. Oh, ASTX, this is a pretty good guy, Ox275, buying ASTX. But basically you're trying to, what I personally try to do is I try to just load my long-term bags, and then just, this market will ruin you if you pay too much attention to them, you check prices too much, and so I just try to occupy my time with new launches, new things, aping little amounts and things that are probably scams, but just letting the good bags run. Because from what I've seen, if I go to anything on this page that's not a brand new token, if I go 11 days or older, they've almost all been runners. Anyone that sold any of these things early was a mistake, right? NMT, Banana, not Shutter, but maybe Shutter's about to have its own, even EEFI, which is relatively new, but all these things, just runners. And so if the token's any good, you just need to let it run. And so then I'll just play with the gambling stuff, which is more alpha stream oriented flows. How would you recommend I start learning about crypto? You're a complete newbie. So go to my Substack and read the first 3 posts. That's the best crash course I could ever come up with without actually creating a course. It'll go through some of the getting you up to speed stuff, including the best one, which is it's all a scam. People have better information than you. Assume it's all going to go to zero. No coin's actually a good coin other than Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. Yeah, that's true. If you found this tool as a newbie, it will help you once you really learn it. I mean, we've had people that came on as complete newbies and they'll just hang out in the Discord, and there's actually a lot of people in there that are very generous with their time. And I mean, we've brought some people completely up to speed and turned them into degens. So, seems like we should do smaller bets across multiple coins in the current climate. On new launches, probably, yeah. I mean, if it's an older coin that's in here in any way, you can go bigger. You're obviously not going to hit some 1000x that you can do some appreciation post about, but like, if you don't want to purely gamble, right? So you're going to invest and you stick to these, the odds of you waking up and your money is completely gone is lower. It's not zero, but like these are safer in the DEX coin world. Versus in the new launch world, it's kind of, it's hit or miss. It's going to be pure on gambling. I mean, the market's pretty good. So if you're going to play new launches, like you really shouldn't be going big on any of them unless you have better information or you have really high conviction. But yeah, it's kind of tough to say. Like you definitely don't want to go too diversified. Like the guys that, and I mean myself included when I joined the space, like when you're rocking very little capital, like you shouldn't have any more than like 3 or 4 positions. Right? I think I wrote a post on it once, like 4 positions. So, because if each one's a quarter of your portfolio and one of them just gets blown to zero, like you can come back. But if a quarter of your portfolio is in something that runs really hard, it's going to make a big enough difference to your overall portfolio that you're working ahead, if that makes sense. But then as you get bigger, you diversify more and more and more. Because you'll see the wallets in here that have big balances, they have a lot more positions because they're preserving capital and trying to grow with some of it. But for the hardcore degen, you don't want to have like 30 $100 positions. Pretty smart buys on this thing. Sokium AI. Don't know what it is. I don't see any sells on it, so I wonder if it rugged. That's another quick and easy degen tip. If you're on the alpha stream, you're playing around, you're looking for coins. Usually when you see a block like this, it means something new launched or there's some piece of information that came out. And if you don't see any sells for it and it is a new launch, it's worth spending 10 seconds and looking at the token page if I can get it to load. Like obviously you can scan the contract and everything, but the quick and dirty, if you're moving fast and looking at a lot of things, if the smart wallets couldn't sell anything, it's usually a potential signal that it's a honeypot. Yeah, it's almost not loading. Like, I wonder if it is a honeypot. Streaming software is bogging my computer down. Some cells. I don't know. Any other questions? Keep them coming. I'll answer anything. The next couple of months, for you brave souls that want to go deep into the sniping game, we'll also be rolling out a sniper-oriented product around seeing where pre-launch hype is, bribe analytics, pre-approvals, socials, stuff like that. I've went deep into. Oh, narrative dashboard. That's coming. I don't know the exact date, but that should be relatively soon. So yes, so for anyone, I can't see how many people are actually on, but so another dashboard that is going to be coming is a narrative dashboard, right? I mean, you could kind of do it just by first glance, but we're going to put something in the probably it'll exist somewhere just right on this homepage, and then it'll get its own button. But for all of these flows and stuff and these holdings, there will be narrative dashboards, so you can say, oh, so actually there's a rotation into BRC20s. Oh, it's, it's rotating back towards meme coins or whatever. So that'll be pretty cool. And it's not that difficult for us to do because we have all the data. Any trial. You could sign up for a month, try it out. If you don't like it, we'll refund you in full. We don't do free trials because free trials can be farmed, and we have over 1,000 users. And while I do give out free alpha, I want to protect their investment into this tool, so we don't do free trials. And that comes also from me farming free trials on any platform that's ever had them across, hundreds of emails. You think about the market, sex coins doing well and memes will rotate to on-chain. I think on-chain has been better than people realize. It's if you're watching all these new launches and you're not making money, it's like put your eyes over here, because all these things have been making money. Like Genus has been straight up, NMT has been straight up, Banana has been straight up, Olas has been straight up, Tau straight up. I don't think AGRS has been straight up, but Buy certainly has. Bitcoin hit an all-time high yesterday. Ondo has been straight up. It's a lot of very good tokens over here. It's actually been pretty good. How are you personally playing Sol? I don't know yet. I need to get the data improved a little bit before I venture over there. How do you plan to iterate the narrative dashboard? Will it enable us to see rotation flows by volume? Yes, that's the whole point. I mean, we did a live stream. So when we launched 3.0, which is what you see here, It's prettier version. There was a time we were looking at the portfolio page. We saw all these 7 and 30 days, and it was all AI coins. And we're like, oh, maybe there's like an AI rotation going on. And that was like early February. Indeed it was an AI rotation. So the narrative dashboard will help with that a lot. Should spend more time on Sol or ETH? That is a personal preference question. I find ETH to be easier, and I don't have unlimited time, so I can't ape and research every single new launch that happens on Sol, and I'm not in the right group chats to be effective on Sol, so I don't really do much over there. So I tend to stay on ETH. I'm happy to pay my $300 to swap. But that's just me. I also, I can hold positions in tokens, and I don't have to babysit them. If you're in these bigger established coins, you'll eat volatility for sure, but it's not like I don't have to check price 24/7. Versus on Sol, I feel like you got to be pretty on top of things. Now, I think once Solana data is really cooking, I'll have a better handle on trading over there, but I have not done much over there. And I think everything I've bought has also... I don't think I've really had any winners over there. This is probably the only thing I bought at one point. I don't even know if it's went up or not. Yeah, I don't know when I bought this, but I guess if I didn't buy it in here, I might have done well. I have to go dust off my old Solana wall to see. Anything else? If not, we've done an hour, so we can wrap up soon unless people have more questions. Nothing? All right. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining. We'll do another one next week or something. And hopefully we'll have at least the narrative dashboard. Oh, yeah. DeFi research. The Discord's... Discord's actually pretty money. Because we have enough people in there and they're all using the data enough, they're quite early to most things. So it's pretty good. Yep, thank you. Oh, we got one more question here. A list view of all the smart money wallets and their attributes. The leaderboard basically does that, yeah. These labels are, where they make their money, which I think is the best way to label wallets. So, so I don't know if you're planning on, let's do one on Solana workflows. We will once I have some, because I'm starting from zero over there. We also, I think we need to make some improvements to the wallet addition algo, because I'm seeing this launch here that looks pretty good, but I don't know if there's any buys on this thing or not. Oh, let's see, when did this launch? Am I on Solana? Some Solana. Yeah. $1. So I think until the Solana date is fully up and running, I probably won't have that many Solana flows. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining. Stay safe out there. Don't click random links and get your wallet drained.